You're about to drop money on the first James Bond game in over a decade, and honestly, there's a lot the marketing isn't telling you. Some of it's brilliant, some of it you really need to see before you commit. Today we're walking through 15 things you absolutely need to know about 007 First Light. No hype, no fluff, just the details that matter. Let's get into it. While cinematic, this is a dedicated stealth action experience, not a linear movie tie-in game. IO Interactive created a completely original young Bond, 26 years old, still in the Royal Navy, not yet the cold agent we know. He's idealistic, earnest, trusting. That's a huge gamble, but it means you get a real character arc, not just a cardboard spy. The game is an origin story in every sense, and that fresh start might be exactly what the franchise needed. If you've played the modern Hitman games, you already know IO Interactive can do smart, layered level design. What you might not know is that those games literally paid for this one. Revenue from Hitman, World of Assassination bankrolled 007 First Light, and they're using the same Glacier engine, tuned for a more cinematic, linear experience. So you're getting that IOI polish, just in a different shape. This isn't a side project, it's their biggest swing yet. It's been 14 years since the last major James Bond game. That's an eternity in gaming. The 2012 game 007 Legends was not great. Since then, rights issues, studio changes, and the sheer weight of the Bond name kept anyone from touching it. IO Interactive pitched hard. They got the full trust of Eon Productions and MGM, and they're not just making one game. They've already teased a trilogy, so if this lands, we're looking at the start of something huge. The plot kicks off when a rogue former 00 agent, 009, resurfaces. Bond is pulled into a world of black market arms dealing, led by the charismatic Bauma. Locations bounce from the frozen isolation of Iceland to the lawless city of Aleph. It's classic Bond globetrotting, but with a more personal edge, because Bond isn't a legend yet. He's a recruit being tested. That changes the stakes in a really interesting way. Casting here is stacked. Bond is played by Patrick Gibson. You might know him from Dexter, Original Sin. The villain, Bauma, is Lenny Kravitz. Bond's mentor, Greenway, is Lenny James. M is played by Priyanka Burford. And here's one the trailers don't shout about. Gemma Chan joins as Dr. Selena Tan, MI6's head of tactical simulation in Q Branch. She's a brilliant academic with a background in psychology and game theory, and she's central to Bond earning his 00 status. That's a serious cast with real weight. If you're expecting open world Hitman, you'll be disappointed. This is a much more straightforward, linear, third-person stealth action game. Think Uncharted or the recent Tomb Raider, with espionage on top. Some previewers called it old school. Others love that focus. You're not going to spend hours experimenting with a level. You're going to be pushed forward by a tight narrative. It's a bold choice, and whether you'll love it depends on what you want from Bond. The Q-Watch is your multi-tool. It can deactivate cameras, trigger environmental kills, and deploy smoke screens. Then there's the Q-Lens. It highlights intel, hackable devices, and enemy paths. You've also got a dart phone that lures guards, and modified earbuds that temporarily stun enemies. It's not an overwhelming arsenal, but everything has a purpose. You feel like a resourceful agent, not a walking tank. This might be the game's coolest feature. In certain situations, you can talk your way past guards, fake an identity, spin a story. It consumes instinct and doesn't always work. Tougher enemies will call your bluff. It's not a full conversation system, but it adds a layer of tension and control. You can be a spy who uses words, not just bullets. That's rare, and it fits Bond perfectly. When things get loud, the melee combat steps up. Previewers have compared it directly to the Batman, ARKHAM games. You've got a parry indicator, yellow for blockable, red for unblockable. And it's punchy, brutal, and satisfying. It's not just a button mash fest. You'll need to read enemies and time your counters. It gives close quarters fighting a cinematic rhythm. This one's huge. After the September gameplay reveal got mocked for frame drops, people called it 007 FPS. IO Interactive just confirmed that the PS5 Pro runs the game at a locked 60 FPS in quality mode using PSSR. The base PS5 still gets a performance mode at 60, but the Pro's image quality is in a different league. If you're on the fence about a Pro, this might push you over.
Secret agent.
On PC, the requirements are all over the place. Minimum is a GTX 1660 for 1080p 30 frames per second. Recommended is an RTX 3060 Ti for 60 frames per second. But the Ultra tier, that's an RTX 5080 with DLSS 4.5 multi-frame gen, targeting 4K at over 200 FPS. Path tracing and ray reconstruction aren't there at launch. They're coming later this summer, so even high-end rigs won't get the full visual package on day one. Something to plan for. On April 13th, a catastrophic breach at the Indonesian game rating system leaked over an hour of gameplay, reportedly including the ending. Developer emails were also exposed alongside content from other upcoming games. IO Interactive hasn't commented publicly. The community reacted with anger, but many are actively avoiding spoilers. If you want to go in fresh, be extremely careful online. The ending is out there. Pre-orders right now get a free upgrade to the Deluxe Edition, 24-hour early access and exclusive outfits and items. That's a solid deal no matter which version you pick. Now, the two premium physical editions are easy to confuse, so here's the clear split. The Collector's Edition at $199.99 gives you a wearable life-size gold mask replica, a steel case, certificate of authenticity, and the Obsidian Gold suit. The Legacy Edition is the $299.99 one. That's where the Golden Gun figurine lives, complete with a secret compartment and a matching in-game weapon skin. Overkill? Absolutely. Worth it for hardcore fans? Probably. The theme song is by Lana Del Rey, composed by David Arnold, the man behind 5 Bond film scores. Lana actually wrote a song for Spectre years ago and was rejected. This is her moment. The track gained nearly 500,000 views in a day, and fans are calling it a return to her cinematic best. It sets the tone for a more melancholic, stylish Bond. Even if you don't play the game, the soundtrack is going to be special. So should you buy it on May 27th? The game just went gold on May 13th. That means it's locked, finished, and ready to ship. No more delays. If you want a polished, story-driven Bond experience from a top-tier studio, the signs say yes. The performance is solid, the cast is stellar, and the gadgets and bluffing give it its own flavor. But if you prefer open-ended sandbox design, you might feel limited. And if you're on Switch 2, you're waiting until summer. My call. For most, this is a confident pre-order. For the cautious, wait for the day one tech reviews. Just don't let the leak spoil the ride. Those are the 15 things you need to know. From the performance modes to the casting goldmine, 007 First Light is shaping up to be way more than a cash grab. It's a proper Bond story. If you found this useful, drop a like and tell me in the comments, which gadget are you most excited to try? I'll see you in the next one.